Greetings everybody. I hope that you guys are good today. So today we're going to be looking at the US 500 chart, which is the S&P 500. So let's get straight into it. As you can see, I have the monthly chart of US 500 open. And one of the first things that I can already see is that we had this overextended W formation here, with the neckline being in this region, and we saw price heading up. What I usually say is that once we've had a W formation, ideally what we would love to see is price coming back to the neckline to retest it, and then continuing going up. So as you can see here, we had price going up, and then it lost momentum in this region and started to come down. So it may well be that at this point in time, price is in the process of coming down to retest this particular neckline of this W structure. So what I'm going to do now is just add a neckline to that W structure. Just bear with me. Okay, there goes our neckline of this W structure. I'm also going to add my Fibonacci 2 just to see if that particular neckline aligns with any of the key Fibonacci levels. So let's see. So we can see that this particular neckline aligns with the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement zone. So it is indeed a very important area, and as I said, we might see price coming down to this level to test this neckline and then continuing going up. So let's proceed. Okay, so what else can we see on this chart that is significant? Another thing that I can see is that we had a head and shoulders pattern in this region, with the left shoulder being here, the right shoulder being there, and or rather the head being here and the right hand shoulder being in this region, right? And we can see that at this point in time, price is in the process of completing the last leg of the head and shoulders pattern, which should complete around here, making this area also a very important area because it's also the neckline of this W structure that we spoke about, and we saw that Fibonacci the Fibonacci level that relates to this area is the 61.8% zone. So let's continue. What else can we tell by just looking at this particular chart, which is of US 500? I don't see anything else except that we also had what seems to be an M formation in this region, with the neckline being, let me just draw it actually, right, with the neckline being there, you know. So I'm just gonna add a neckline just so we don't forget about this very important information as well. Just bear with me. Here we go. That's the neckline of that M structure. I don't see anything else of value on this particular chart. So what I'm gonna do now is head over to the weekly chart. Okay, there we go. I've got the weekly chart open. I can already see that we have this candlestick over here, which is a bearish candlestick with a small body and a long lower wick. So what this tells us is that at this level where this candlestick ends, there is a whole lot of liquidity that's sitting there, and price has to come to this level probably this week to trigger that liquidity, and we might see it coming back to this neckline of this M structure and continuing down to this neckline of that huge W structure we spoke about that's sitting on the monthly chart, right? So let's continue. So for now, I'm just gonna mark that very important weekly candle, so that we don't forget about the fact that we have a whole lot of liquidity that is sitting down there that needs to be grabbed by the market at one point or another. There we go. I'll just make it a red color so that it stands out. Okay, there we go. Let's continue. So what else do we see? Let's see. What else do we see on this chart? We had also an overextended W formation in this region, with the neckline being at this level, and price actually came back to retest the neckline. Let me just actually put it out so that you can see exactly what it is that I'm referring to. Here's W formation with the neckline being there, and price came back to retest it, and we might see price going back up again to retest this neckline as well of this M structure, and then possibly coming here to grab that liquidity, and it may also further continue to this level to test this neckline of that huge W formation that we have over there. So let's continue. Just bear with me. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's continue. So from here, what I'm gonna do is head over to the daily chart, seeing that there's not much else of value on this particular chart. Let's see. Okay, here we are on the daily chart. So the first thing that I can already see is that we have a gap in this region. So what this tells us is that we have a whole lot of liquidity at this point, and price has to come to this level to trigger that liquidity. Another thing that I'm gonna do on this particular chart is actually add my my channel. Just bear with me. Here we go. Just remember that we need to ensure that our channels are as accurate as possible, just to make sure that at the end of the day, our execution is also as accurate as can be. There we go. There goes my daily channel, and then I'm just gonna make it a black color. There we go. So what else can we tell that's interesting on this particular chart? Another thing that is very interesting is that I can see that the market was creating a whole lot of informations. There's one here with the neckline being here. There's another information here with the neckline being there. Price came back to retest this neckline and then went up. So had we caught this move while price was here, we would have looked for a sell in this at this level rather. And if you sold at this level and you're still holding, you must be in a whole lot of profit by now. So let's continue. So what else can we see on this particular daily chart? Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, I don't see much really, so I'm gonna head over to the H4 chart. On the H4 chart, I'm going to fix my equidistant channels, which I had drawn on the daily chart. There we go. Let's see. Just bear with me, guys. Okay, there we go. So there we have our H4, or rather our daily channel being fixed. So now we've got the H4 channel open, or rather the H4 chart open. So what do we see on this particular chart? So the first thing that I'm going to do here is actually add my H4 channel as well. Here we go, and I'm going to make it a different color so that it stands out more. There we go. Right. Let's see, let's continue. What else can we see on this particular H4 chart? So we had price creating what seems to be an inverted head and shoulders pattern, with this being the left shoulder, this being the head, and this point being the right hand shoulder. Should price continue with this formation and come to this level, I think this would be very much ideal, because we would have that huge M structure that we spoke about on the higher charts, with the neckline being in this region. We would also have this channel, which would act as resistance at this point. So should price get to this point from where it is, I would start looking for selling opportunities, and my first take profit zone would be this particular zone that we spoke about, where we have a whole lot of liquidity that needs to be triggered by the market, right? I hope that makes sense, guys. So let's continue. So what else can we see on this chart that is significant or of value? We also seem to have this level over here, which is a strong level of resistance. And actually, it may happen that we don't see price actually completing this inverted head and shoulders pattern to around that point. What may actually happen is price from where it is currently, because we have the strong level of the strong resistance area, rather, price may just come back to the zone to grab that liquidity. However, what we say in trading is that we should not be predicting, but we should be reacting based on what the market is actually doing. So let's continue. Yeah. So what else can we see on this chart that is significant or a value? At this point, I don't see anything else. I'm just gonna head over to the H1 chart. Here we are on the H1 chart. Let's see. So what do we see on this chart? On the H1 chart, I can see that price is also trying to attempt what seems to be a head and shoulders pattern. Yeah, it seems to be forming a head and shoulders pattern, with the left shoulder being on this side, the head being here, and the right hand shoulder being on this side. You know, on the 4-hour chart, I spoke about this area, which is a very strong area of resistance. And what may actually happen is price from where it is may come to this region and then push down to this level, where we have a whole lot of liquidity that needs to be formed, right? However, at this stage, I do not see any buying or selling opportunities. However, to me, it seems as though price will continue with that head and shoulders pattern and come to this level over here, right? So those of you who had or who were able to actually enter or sell rather at this level, I think I would hold. If you've sold at this level, I would hold, because we have a very strong area of resistance over here, and my take profit would be at the zone over here. You know, for those of you who have not entered as yet, I do not think it's a good idea to sell at this point, because of how the market is actually structured at this point in time, right? I don't think it's safe to enter. However, should price from where it is right now reach this level again, I would look for a further selling opportunity to around this region, right? So that's it, guys, and as far as the S&P 500 chart is concerned. But just to recap, on the H4 chart, we have an area of strong resistance over here, and what we may see happening is price coming to this level and then pushing down to around this level, or price may continue with this inverted head and shoulders pattern, coming to around this area where we have the neckline of that huge M structure that we spoke about, and this is where we might look for further selling opportunities, because we have the M formation, the neckline, as well as this channel acting as very strong areas of resistance. So should we get an M formation on the lower charts at this level, we would possibly look for selling opportunities to around this level. So that is it, guys, in as far as the S&P chart is concerned. If there are any other charts that you would like me to have a look at, just let me know. And if you have any further questions, just let me know. Thanks, guys, for watching, and peace out.